Hello, welcome to this session of Class 6 Mathematics, and I'm your Anu again. Today it's a new chapter. We are going to see a new topic called fractions. Now, let's imagine that we have bought a cake for the party. Okay, there's a cake. Okay, so now we need to share it along with our friends. Okay, you share, isn't it? So there are many friends around you and you wish to share the cake among your friends, and that is, you need to share equally with your friends so that your joy will also be shared equally. Now, how do you share it? How do you give away the pieces of cake? Say for example, if I take the cake like this, if there are 4 people, I can cut it into 4 equal parts, isn't it? But keeping the big one isn't fair, but we always love to have the bigger share, isn't it? But in fractions, it's always correct, or it's always good to share equally. So that is the value we understand from this chapter, fractions. Always sharing equally. The shares should be equal among each of them. Okay, so the parts we divide should be equal. So that is one of the greatest value we learn from this chapter. Along with mathematical ideas, we also learn values from them. So what is the value we learn from fractions? We share equally. Each part divided should be equal. So how do we do that? Come on, let us see. See, I have cake or pizza or any other thing which is circle in shape. Maybe it may be any shape, so that I need to share it equally among others. If there are only 2 members, let's imagine there are only 2 of us, my friend, me and my friend, so the whole part has to be divided into 2 equal parts. Okay, it should be equal. Remember, the parts should always be equal, okay, while dividing. So that you should keep in mind. So now if I divide it equally, so this will be my part and this will be my friends. I am concerned with my share. Okay, I'm always concerned with my share, so I say this is mine. To identify my part, I shade it, so this is mine. So totally how many parts I have made in this? How many parts we have made? So this is a circle, the object which is circular in shape is a whole. Okay, so it's a whole and we have divided the whole into 2 equal parts. Remember that. And out of it, my share is of my concern. So I need to represent my share. The shaded part is my share, and I need to represent my share in a mathematical way. Okay, so how do I represent it? So how many shares I have in this? Only one, isn't it? Out of 2 parts, I have one part for me. So that is my concern. My part is my concern. So that is one part. So one shaded part. One part for me. Out of how many parts? I have 2 parts here, out of which only one I can have. So out of 2 parts. So this is how I represent my fraction or my part out of the whole. Do you understand? So fractions are the representations of a part of a whole. There is a whole. It may be either it may be a single object or it may be a group of objects. I'll tell you how we divide group of objects equally, but this is a single object. It's a whole object and we have divided it equally into 2 equal parts, and that part of consideration, the shaded part, is always written on the top. Below that we write the total number of parts. The total number of parts is 2 here, so I write 1 upon 2, or I say 1 divided by 2, or I say just 1 by 2. So the fraction is 1 divided by 2. Okay, so fractions are always written in the form of P divided by Q. So you have a number on the top, a line between them, between the two numbers and the number below it. Okay, so P divided by Q. As of now, we have P and Q to be integers. Okay, fractions or integers here. As of now, as of this class, we have integers, P and Q to be integers, and they are positive integers. So when we move to operation of fractions like addition and subtraction, we will see integers, that is even negative integers in these fractions. Now as of now, let us take to be positive. Okay, so it's always in the form of P divided by Q. Fractions are always in the form of P divided Q, one number upon another. Okay, so that is how we write this. So let me explain it with another example, so that it will be more clear for you. See, we have a square like this, and I divide it equally into 4 equal parts. Okay, so now I shade 2 of them. Now, how will I write the fraction for this diagram? So there are 2 parts shaded. Okay, so whichever part is shaded, for our convenience we have shaded the part to identify the parts we are concerned with. So there are 2 shaded parts. So take 2 here upon, there are, how many parts are there in total? When initially how many parts I have divided, when the square is divided into how many parts? 4, isn't it? So 2 divided by 4. So 2 by 4 or 2 divided by 4 or 2 upon 4 is the fraction for the given illustration. Do you understand? Another example. See, I have divided into 3 equal parts. Say they are equal parts, such as I have divided the triangle into 3 equal parts. Okay, 3 parts which are equal to one another. So here 1 is the shaded part, total part is 3. So 1 by 3 is the fraction. Okay, so 1 by 3 is the fraction for the given figure. Do you understand? So this is how we write the fraction for the shaded parts. Do you understand? Now the next thing is, take a fraction, say either 2 by 3 or 3 by 5 or 5 by 8, anything like that. Okay, so we know one number is upon another. Now, what is the number which is on the top called, and what is the number below? This is called the numerator, and this one is the denominator. Okay, numerator divided by the denominator. So this is the numerator and this is the denominator, and we say this is a fraction. Do you understand? Now we have seen how a whole object, a single object, is divided equally to get a fraction. Okay, now we'll see how group of objects can be shared or can be divided, or how it can be the divided parts of group of objects can be represented in fractions. I have, see like this, I have some 4 boxes. Okay, and this is a group, or this is a set actually. Okay, now I need to share this among 4 equal members. Okay, so what I do, I divide it like this. Okay, I have some 4 toys or 4 objects inside each box. Okay, so I can take one part, that is one box, and give it to my friend. So like that I can share it with 3 members along with me. So if one part is for me, then in the group I can say this is 1 divided by 4. Do you understand? So likewise, see, if I have see if I have two sets of stars. So in one set, each set I have 4 stars and I have totally 10 stars. 10 stars are divided into 2 sets. Okay, if I have one out of it, see, I say this is 1 by 2. Do you understand? If I have this part to be mine, the set of stars, okay, which are like the, I mean, just imagine that they are stickers, okay, stickers pasted on a paper. So this sticker is mine, so I say this is 1 by 2 part of it is for me. So the fraction, I get the fraction which I have, the share which I have is 1 divided by 2. Okay, so 1 divided by 2 is for, this is 1 and this is 1, so there are actually 2 sets. So out of 2 sets, one set I have for me. Okay, if I count all the objects together, all the stars together, then what will be the fraction? Yes, it will be 5 by 10. See, I have 5 stars out of 10 stars. Okay, so that is what the difference I have showed you. See, I have 4 here in each box. I have not taken into account. I have just said one box is for me, so that is 1 by 4. Now I have explained to you each one separately. Like one box has 4 toys in it. Likewise, one sticker has 5 stars in it. I have said one sticker is for me, that is 1 by 2. If I count the stars too, there are totally 10 stars. Okay, in 2 sets there are totally 10 stars and 5 stars are for me out of 10 stars. Actually, the group of objects, it is like group of objects, it's not a single object, the group of objects, and they are divided equally. And if it forms sets, that is if it forms groups, there are 2 groups and out of which one group is for me, so I say 1 divided by 2. If I take the objects individually, I have 10 stars totally, so out of which 5 is for me out of 10, isn't it? But we see that this 1 by 2 is just equal to 5 by 10. So if I say 1 by 2, then also this represents the whole 1 for me. If I say 5 divided by 10 according to the number of stars, then 2 I have this for me. Do you understand? So 1 by 2 is equal to 5 by 10. You just remember this. This is very important. 1 by 2 is equal to 5 by 10. Likewise, see, I have written here 1 by 4. Okay, so that is one box. It represents one box out of 4 boxes. But there are 4 toys inside the box. So totally how many toys are there inside the group, inside the set, the whole set? Totally how many toys are there? Yes, there are 16 toys. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, 4 into 4, there are 16 toys. Okay, out of 16 toys, how many is for me? There are 4 in one box, so 4 toys for me. Do I understand? So 1 by 4 is just as equal as 4 by 16. Do you understand? Do you understand? Did you get it? So 1 by 4 is equal to 4 by 16 here, and 1 by 2 is equal to 5 by 10 here. Just observe the fractions which I have written here, 1 by 4 and 4 by 16. If you observe, you have, see, 4 common, 4 into 4. 1 into 4 gives you 4, 4 into 4 gives you 16. Isn't it? Likewise, 1 into 5 gives 5, 2 into 5 gives you 10. Do you understand? How did you get this? 1 into 4, 4, 4 into 4, 16. When I counted the whole group of objects, when I took this box as a whole, so group of objects, there are 4 groups, so I take 1, so out of 4 I take 1, so that is also same. And within this individual objects, the whole objects inside it, if I count them all, and if I calculate according to the individual objects, 4 by 16, that is also same. So how it happens? See, 1 into 4, 4 into 4. When I multiply the fraction by the same number, when I multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same number, I'll get exactly the same fraction. Do you understand? Exactly the same fraction. Or if I can write it like this, or I can get 4 by 16 from, 1 by 4 from 4 by 16 as 4 divided by 4 and 16 divided by 4. This is also right, isn't it? So 4 divided by 4 is 1 and 16 divided by 4 is 4. That is also right, isn't it? So we can divide both numerator and denominator by the same number, or we can multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number to have same fractions, equal fractions, and they are what is called equivalent fractions. Do you understand? They are called equivalent fractions. Do remember, this is very important, equivalent fractions. So equivalent fractions, how do we get equivalent fractions? Just by multiplying the given fraction by the same number. Numerator and denominator has to be multiplied by the same number, or the numerator and denominator can be divided by the same number. Either one. You can do either multiplication or division. If you do multiplication, you need to multiply both the numerator and denominator. You need to multiply by the same number. If you are to divide the number, then you need to divide both the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Do you understand? So this is what we call equivalent fractions, and equivalent fractions are obtained by this way, either multiplication or division, both the numerator and denominator by the same number. Do you understand? Yes. See, I'll explain it to you. The equivalent fractions can be explained by some more illustrations. See, now the same object. See, equivalent fractions is, they represent the the same fraction. Equivalent fractions represent the same fraction anyhow. So let us see how do they represent same fraction. See here, I shade this. First I have divided the square into two equal parts and I have shaded 1. So this becomes 1 by 2 now. Just observe. So this is 1 by 2. Isn't it? Now what I do is, I divide it into 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then to the shading remains the same. You understand? Just observe, I am not shading extra parts and I am not shading some other part too. The shading remains the same but the division increases. Now it becomes 4. The total part becomes 4 and here the total shaded part becomes 2. Isn't it? That is also same. The same shading I have retained. Now what do I do is sorry, see how many parts I have divided the whole square into how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the total part is 8 here, and how many shaded parts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. You understand? So 4 parts. You understand? Now I further divide it into how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 fours are 16. So total parts are 16 here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the shaded parts are 16. See, when you observe the shadings, the shaded part remains the same. The fraction remains the same. But the number of parts I've divided, the whole object changes. Okay, the number of parts and the number of shaded parts increases. Okay, so the divisions we make increases. So that is what we call equivalent fractions. So the fraction remains, the shaded part remains the same, and we are able to represent the same fraction, same shaded part into different fractions. So these fractions are called equivalent fractions. Do you understand? So how we arrive at the equivalent fraction? See, this is multiplied by 2. Same, isn't it? So we have 2 by 4. Now this is also multiplied by 2, we get 4 by 8. And this is also multiplied by 2, we get 8 by 16. Or this 2 by 4 is multiplied by 4, into 4 and into 4 we get 8 by 16. Or 8 by 16 is divided by 2. 8 by 2 is what? 8 by 2 is 4 and 16 by 2 is 8. Or if it is divided by 8, 8 is divided by 8, you get 1. 16 divided by 8, you get 2. Do you understand? So that is how equivalent fractions are formed. You understand? So these are equivalent fractions. Remember, equivalent fractions are obtained by either multiplying or dividing the numerator and denominator by the same number. If you are multiplying, you should multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the same number. and if you are dividing, divide both the numerator and denominator by the same number. So that is what represents equivalent fractions. So up to this, what we have seen, fractions are a part of a whole of a single object or group of objects. The group of objects can be divided, okay, into, but the part should be equal. Whatever we divide, that should be equal. Whatever we share has to be equal to be fair. So the shares has to be fair. So we need to we need to divide them equally, so that everyone gets equal share. Do you understand? And in that fractions, we saw how do we represent fractions, okay, like numerator, denominator. The top number is called the numerator and the bottom number is called the denominator, and it is always represented in the form of P divided by Q. Okay, Q should never be 0. That keep in mind, in P by Q format, this denominator should never be 0. If it is 0, then that fraction is not defined, because any number is not divided by, any number divided by 0 is not defined. Okay, we can't define it. It is infinity, so it should not be equal to 0. So fractions are of this type, and we have also seen equivalent fractions. Now the other thing is, see, 8 by 16 is given, and I can divide it by 8 and it reduces to 1 by 2. It reduces to 1 by 2, I say. It reduces to 1 by 2. So this 1 by 2 is called the lowest form, or the simplest form, or the standard form. Just note it down, this is very important. It gets reduced to lowest form, or the simplest form, or the standard form. We say standard form. When we say standard form or the lowest form, it means a fraction is reduced to another fraction such that both the numerator and denominator do not have any other common factor other than 1. So 1 is the common factor for this 1 by 2. So below this you can't reduce 1 by 2, isn't it? 1 for 1 and 2 you have common factor 1. Okay, so now let us take another example to see how it is reduced to the lowest form or the simplest form or the standard form. See, I write 25 divided by 30. If I write 25 divided by 30, so I can divide both the numbers by 5, because 5 is the common factor for both 25 and 30. So the answer is 5 divided by 6. So beyond this we can't reduce 5 by 6. So 5 by 6 has common factor only as 1. No other factor divides both 5 and 6, isn't it? So 5 by 6 is the lowest form. So in other words, we can also say that 5 is the HCF of 25 and 30. So to reduce a fraction to its simplest form or its lowest form, to reduce it to lowest form, you just divide the fraction by its HCF, the HCF of both numerator and denominator. If you divide the numerator and denominator by HCF, the fraction will be reduced to lowest form such that they will have a common factor as 1. So no other factor will be common to both the numbers. Okay, if you can't find HCF, HCF is already known to you, but if at all you can't find HCF, you just keep on dividing until there is no other factor other than 1 for that fraction. Okay, so that is the lowest form, reduced form, lowest form, simplest form of the standard form for the given fraction. Do you understand? So up to this we have seen fractions. What are fractions? What is a form of fraction, and the illustrations for fractions, equivalent fractions, and the lowest form for the fractions. In the next class we will see some other fractions, some more types of fractions. What are the nature of fractions, and we will see some problems on it. Okay, until then it's bye from Anu. Thank you.